on here and talk really quick about the Ozarks again. That first or second video that I put out definitely got the most attention. I think the majority of the people that are watching it are in the Torah community and are interested in moving to Ava, or just to the Ozarks in general because of the Torah community here. A lot of the things that I mentioned in the video were really a lot of the positive things that I see about this area and the community here, and they're all really great things. I didn't really mention the community a whole lot, but I want to today. That's something I want to talk about today, is the community here and what my expectations were moving here versus what it was really like. So anyways, when I moved here from Alaska, what I was expecting is to have a big community of people that believed exactly like I did, that I would just have a plethora of fellowship at the tips of my fingers, no matter where I ended up in the Ozarks, and that I would just have a whole lot of like-minded believers. And while that is true, it's not exactly what I expected. So basically, my views on the Ozarks are that while it's great, the Torah community's here, it's definitely a place for refinement, because not everyone here believes the same things, like not even close to the same things. Just because you are a whole Bible believer and you believe that we should be following the Sabbath and the feast days and stuff, doesn't mean that the majority of your theology lines up right. So that's something that I learned pretty quick, is that while we might agree on certain things, the majority of things we might not agree on. So this place has really refined me as far as prioritizing fellowship and learning to love one another despite our theological differences. So there's a lot of people in this community that are flat earthers, round earthers, Paul keepers, Paul deniers, extra biblical book believers, non-extra biblical book believers. The list goes on and on and on and on. The calendar, even when you celebrate Shabbat and the feast days, like, there's just so many differences. You would not imagine how many differences there could be. And you can have a lot of differences in the Christian faith, but the reason that doesn't usually affect the fellowship too much is because, or cause any problems, is because they don't tend to talk about those things a whole lot, and they're not super passionate about it. Not all Christians, but just the majority. So the majority of the people here that are in the Torah community have very passionate views for their beliefs and why they believe those things. They're very passionate about it. They believe their feelings are very strong. They're very strong in their theology. So, a lot of things can create some hard times when you're trying to fellowship, like especially things that are very controversial, like obviously the calendar, like the Trinity, whether you believe that's a salvational issue or not. I could talk all day about it, honestly, but there's a lot of differences. The fellowships here, they're really wonderful. A lot of them, we hear a lot about other fellowships. We've only went to a couple fellowships since we've been here, and the reason for that isn't, we want to try to go to other ones, but the reason we haven't yet is because we found a home fellowship that we love, and that's where we've been comfortable going for so long. So the majority of the fellowships here are actually home fellowships. There's a lot of people that just gather in their home or host, and that's just how it is, which is kind of nice because it's very personal, but also it's kind of stressful if you want to drive really far. Things are very spread out here, and if you want to drive really far, sometimes that can be stressful on the Shabbat, especially if you have a lot of young children like I do. So, yeah, a lot of the fellowships are home fellowships. There's, you know, obviously there's the one in Ava and True Brew that Tom Martinsik runs. And then I believe there's a pretty big one in Mountain Grove as well as in Mansfield. I don't know for sure because, again, I haven't been to those two yet. There's one off Highway 14 just west of Ava called Dogwood. We also haven't been there, but it's also been recommended to us, so we'll probably try it soon. Obviously, there's Parable of the Vineyard in Galena. I know that's not the Ava area, but it's pretty close, and a lot of people here actually go there for Shabbats. So if you are thinking about moving here, expect it to not be all rainbows and butterflies. It is a place for refinement here, and you will find that it comes with a group of people that are so passionate in their beliefs, and you know, there's a very diverse theology around here. So definitely expect that. Expect to be tested. That's another thing. Expect to be tested. Like, it's one thing to live somewhere where you don't have a whole lot of Torah people in your community and you just kind of fellowship by yourself and study privately and whatnot. It can be really easy to not ever be tested in your views. So when you come here, definitely expect to be tested for why you believe the things that you believe. And that's really motivating. Honestly, it was motivating to us to really dive into the Word and ask ourselves why we believe the things that we believe. So coming here inspired us to get in the Word even more and to dig deeper than we ever had before, so that we could explain why we believe the things that we believe. Or sometimes it caused us to just change our opinion entirely, and that's great, right? You know, where controversy comes, growth also comes, and that's a beautiful thing. If we're open to it, we should always be open-minded and humble and accept that we might be wrong in some of our beliefs. And that's good, really, because it just provides room for growth and improvement and coming closer to Yahweh. So if you come here thinking that it's going to be super peaceful and you're going to just have so many people that believe exactly like you, that's probably not accurate. And you might want to prepare yourself for the refinement you're about to go through. But my encouragement today is that whether you live here or not, to love one another, regardless of theological differences. I know it can cause a lot of things like church divides and loss of friendships and problems, but I think that what Yeshua would want us to do is to love one another regardless, and to be a light. It's a lot easier to be a light to the world when we're all lights together with one another. So that's what I encourage you to do. Don't let pride get a hold of you, because pride can cause a lot of contention. It can cause us to gossip. It can cause a lot of problems to the body. And we don't want to elevate ourselves to be better than another person. We don't want to be a stumbling block, and we certainly don't want Yeshua to look at us one day and say that he never knew us. So love your brothers and your sisters, regardless of any of those differences, and be there for one another. The community is a lot stronger emotionally and physically when we are all working as a team and there for one another, regardless of our differences. Anyways, that's all I had to talk about today, so we will see you next time. Say bye!